Kanye West has once again found himself in the spotlight this week, stirring up a storm alongside his wife, Bianca. While the internet has been buzzing with backlash over her daring fashion choice at the Grammys, Kanye himself is relishing every moment of it. Of course, this is Kanye we're talking about, so it comes as no surprise that he's basking in the attention, treating their red carpet moment like a masterpiece. He's been flooding his Instagram story with posts, proudly highlighting the fact that Bianca has been trending nonstop. It's a spectacle in every sense, and we're about to unpack all the drama that has unfolded since the Grammys. Before diving into the details, let's take a quick moment to talk about what to do when life takes an unexpected turn. If you've ever suffered a serious injury and felt overwhelmed about what steps to take next, Morgan & Morgan is here to help. As the largest personal injury law firm in the United States, they've made the process of getting legal assistance incredibly simple. If you become their client, you won't have to deal with complicated legal procedures alone. They handle everything, making the entire process stress-free. I used to think that hiring a lawyer was a long, confusing, and expensive ordeal, but Morgan & Morgan has changed that narrative. More than 3 million people have trusted them to represent their cases, securing life-changing settlements for victims of serious accidents. The best part? You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. And submitting a claim couldn't be easier. You can do everything directly from your phone, from providing case details and signing contracts to uploading medical records, and even messaging your legal team throughout the process. If you've been seriously injured, your case could be worth millions, and you're just a few clicks away from potentially turning things around. You can start your claim today by visiting www.forthypeople.com/spills, where you'll find all the details you need. There's also a QR code on the screen. Just scan it with your phone and you're good to go. Huge thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to the drama. Kanye West has been riding high all week after Bianca became the talk of the internet following her jaw-dropping look at the Grammys, if you can even call it an outfit. And while many people speculated that the two had split due to swirling rumors, they are, in fact, still very much together. At the event, Bianca stood beside Kanye, making a statement in one of her most shocking ensembles yet, and that's saying something, considering she has already made headlines multiple times for her unconventional fashion choices. Lately, she's been spotted walking around in what can only be described as post-apocalyptic attire, sheer, skin-bearing fabrics, going completely barefoot and donning outfits that leave the internet questioning her well-being. At the Grammys, she initially arrived wrapped in an oversized fur coat, but once on the red carpet, she dramatically shed the outer layer, revealing a barely there ensemble that was practically transparent. It left little, if anything, to the imagination. And Kanye? He was absolutely thrilled. He strutted around, beaming with pride, as if this were his greatest fashion statement yet. It was evident that he saw this moment as a triumph, reveling in the attention it drew. However, the internet had a very different reaction. Social media exploded almost instantly, with Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit flooded with reactions ranging from disbelief to outright concern. Users were quick to share their thoughts, with comments like, "Why is Bianca literally naked? How is this even allowed? Is she okay? Her eyes look like she's asking for help. Bianca is practically nude again. Is she safe? I genuinely hope she's doing all right." Some even emphasized that Bianca deserves to be recognized as her own person, rather than simply being referred to as Kanye's wife. Others questioned her mental state after seeing the red carpet photos, stating, "I'm saying this as respectfully as possible. If she's happy, great. But is she?" This discussion isn't new. It's been a topic of debate ever since Kanye and Bianca got together. Many are wondering whether she's genuinely happy in this relationship, or if there's something darker at play. The comparisons to Kim Kardashian's past relationship with Kanye are hard to ignore. Longtime fans of Keeping Up with the Kardashians remember all too well how Kanye took full control of Kim's wardrobe, dictating what she could wear, and even throwing out her clothes that didn't align with his vision. Kim has spoken openly about how he used to criticize her fashion choices, a pattern that some fear may be repeating itself with Bianca. With the controversy surrounding Bianca's outfits only growing louder, one thing is certain: whether people love it or hate it, Kanye is thriving on the chaos. Seeing Bianca go through an eerily similar situation to what Kim once endured, but in an even more extreme way, has left many people deeply unsettled. And speaking of Kim, last year, rumors were running wild that she was seriously bothered by Bianca's increasingly provocative wardrobe choices, especially because her children are often around her. Allegedly, Kim was even considering taking legal action to ensure that Bianca wouldn't dress so inappropriately in the presence of her kids. However, realistically speaking, it seems unlikely that there would be any legal basis for such a lawsuit unless Bianca was actively violating public indecency laws. I mean, sure, Kim might not approve of Bianca's outfits, but taking legal action over someone's choice of clothing? That would be a whole different level of conflict. Ultimately, nothing ever came of those rumors, leading many to believe it was just another piece of gossip that never had any real legs to stand on. That being said, given how controversial Bianca's outfits have become, it's not hard to imagine why some people would buy into the idea that Kim might want to step in and put some kind of restriction on what she wears, particularly around her kids. Speaking of public indecency laws, there was a significant amount of online chatter suggesting that Bianca had crossed the line with her Grammy look. Many people speculated that her near-nude ensemble had actually broken these laws, but according to Page 6, sources within the Los Angeles Police Department told TMZ that, as of Monday, no one who attended the event at the Crypto.com arena had filed any official complaints about her outfit, or lack thereof. While Bianca's attire definitely pushed the boundaries of what's considered acceptable in public, California's laws regarding indecent exposure require that there be an intentional and willful public display with the specific intent to offend. Given that Bianca's look was likely meant as an artistic or fashion statement rather than an attempt to provoke outrage, authorities stated that it was highly improbable that she would face any legal consequences for her red carpet moment. So, while she may not be facing criminal charges, she is certainly being held accountable in the court of public opinion, where critics have been tearing her apart for what they see as a desperate publicity stunt. But despite all the online backlash, Kanye couldn't be happier about the spectacle. Instead of shying away from the controversy, he's been reveling in it, taking to social media to proudly gloat about the attention his wife has been receiving. In a series of posts, Kanye shared images of Bianca's Grammys outfit, captioning one with, "Custom couture Grammy dress for the most beautiful woman ever, my love, my best friend, my wife." He doubled down on his enthusiasm by posting another image of her attire, this time labeling it the invisible dress. But he didn't stop there. He also boasted about Bianca's skyrocketing online presence, sharing that she had become a trending topic on Google search. He later went on to claim that she was the most Googled person on earth wearing Yeezy women's. And if that wasn't enough, Kanye really wanted to make it clear just how victorious he felt about the whole thing. He posted another message that read, "We beat the Grammys," followed by yet another post that said, "For clarity, February 4th, 2025, my wife is the most Googled person on the planet called Earth." Over the next several days, he only ramped up his posts, continuing to push the narrative that this moment was a major win for him and Bianca. At one point, he shared yet another update, writing, "Most Googled person on the planet, me and my wife. The most Googled person on the planet smooching the most Googled human being on the planet known as Earth." If there was any doubt about how Kanye felt regarding the backlash, he has made it crystal clear. He sees this as an absolute victory. But this whole situation has left a lot of people scratching their heads, especially given Kanye's past comments about the way women in his life present themselves. Many are pointing out the sheer hypocrisy of his current stance, considering how vocal he was in the past about his disapproval of Kim Kardashian's choices. When Kim was making decisions he disagreed with, especially regarding her children's schooling and her involvement in the entertainment industry, he had no problem calling her out on Instagram. One of his most infamous posts from that time read, "Don't let Kris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. Hollywood is a giant brothel. Bling destroyed my family. I deal with addiction. Instagram promotes it. Not going to let it happen to Northie and Chicago. He even went so far as to leak private messages from Kim, including one where she relayed a request from her mother, Kris Jenner. The text reportedly read, "From my mom, please tell him to stop. Please stop mentioning my name. I'm almost 67 years old and I don't always feel great, and this stresses me to no end." Kanye, however, didn't back down. He fired back with, "Y'all don't have a say over my black children and where they go to school. They will not do Playboy and tapes. Tell your Clinton friends to come get me. I'm here." Now, with all of that history in mind, people are seriously questioning Kanye's current enthusiasm for Bianca's barely their fashion choices. They're wondering how he could have been so outraged over Kim's past career choices, yet now be completely supportive, practically celebratory, of Bianca's public nudity. It's a contradiction that many people just can't wrap their heads around, and it has led to growing speculation that Bianca's fashion decisions may not be entirely her own. While some argue that she's a consenting adult making her own choices, others believe there's something more complicated at play. Bethany Frankel, for example, has publicly called out the situation, pointing out that Kanye has a long history of exerting influence over the women in his life, particularly when it comes to their appearance. While Bianca may be a grown woman with the ability to make her own decisions, the question remains, does she truly want to dress this way, or is she simply following Kanye's vision for what he wants her to be? I recently watched the Kanye and Bianca Sorry video, and while it was undeniably shocking, that was clearly the point. Kanye deliberately set out to create a spectacle, positioning Bianca as his muse, something he has a well-documented history of doing with the women he dates. From the looks of it, she seems more than willing to embrace that role, given how frequently she steps out in sheer, barely there outfits. The only difference this time? She took things one step further. But honestly, whether it's parading through an airport in a completely transparent bodysuit or stripping away the last layer of fabric for a high-profile event, the end result is pretty much the same: public nudity. This entire situation reminds me of when Julia Fox had her own whirlwind transformation after briefly dating Kanye. In just a matter of weeks, she experienced a massive career boost, largely due to the provocative and avant-garde ensembles he encouraged her to wear. Essentially, Kanye took the same approach with Julia that he had once taken with Kim Kardashian, except this time, he leaned even further into the risque. And now, with Bianca, it's less about pushing boundaries through high fashion statements and more about embracing a complete lack of clothing altogether. Now, I know a lot of people are hyper-focused on the control aspect of this dynamic. And I get it, Kanye has a very clear pattern when it comes to the way he influences the women in his life. But at the same time, Bianca is a 30-year-old woman who has been dressing like this consistently. She's an adult making her own choices, and we can't necessarily pin everything on him. At the end of the day, these are two consenting adults navigating a very public relationship. That being said, what stood out to me as even more shocking than Bianca's near-naked outfit was the fact that she and Kanye weren't invited to the Grammys in the first place, yet they showed up anyway. It raises the question, was this over-the-top fashion moment a way to shift attention away from the snub? If so, it certainly worked. I'd be really curious to hear what Julia Fox thinks about all of this, considering she was once in Bianca's exact position, being styled and pushed into the public eye in controversial, barely there looks. And let's not forget that after her brief stint with Kanye, Julia's career skyrocketed. She has since embraced provocative fashion on a whole new level, consistently making bold, envelope-pushing statements at various fashion events and runway shows. But even if this is just history repeating itself, there's still an underlying reason for concern. Kanye has a long track record of wanting to control the aesthetic of the women he's with, and people have been vocal about their discomfort with that dynamic. We saw it with Kim, who publicly discussed how he completely overhauled her wardrobe and dictated what she should and shouldn't wear. We saw it with Julia, who wrote about the experience in her memoir, revealing that Kanye had an entire team curate her outfits while they were together. She even recalled how she was immediately reminded of a Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode where he did the exact same thing for Kim. And in an even more bizarre revelation, Julia claimed that Kanye allegedly suggested she get a boob job simply because one of her outfits didn't fit the way he wanted it to. Ultimately, she said the entire experience left her feeling like a show monkey. Naturally, fans are hoping that Bianca isn't feeling the same way, though her family doesn't seem particularly worried. In fact, Bianca's sister even shared clips of her Grammy appearance on her Instagram story, which many people interpreted as a sign that they fully support her choices. Meanwhile, Kanye is completely rejecting the idea that this was some kind of publicity stunt. Instead of brushing off the criticism, he went on a full-blown Twitter tirade, which, unsurprisingly, landed him in hot water yet again. During this latest meltdown, he managed to post a string of inflammatory statements, spark even more controversy, and even announce a potential fashion collaboration with Diddy. As of now, his website still reflects their alleged partnership. But when it came to addressing the backlash over Bianca's Grammys look, Kanye didn't hold back. In one of his many posts, he fired back at the accusations, writing, "Anyone calling my wife's Grammy look a stunt is dumb and lame. She's been dressing like this for 2 years now, suddenly it's a stunt." He then went on to argue that most people secretly wish they had Bianca's level of confidence, writing, "Every single person on the planet wishes they had her bravery, her body, her platform, and the financial freedom to express themselves however they want." So many factors had to align for this moment to even be possible. So there you have it, Kanye sees this moment as a triumph, while the internet continues to debate whether it was an act of self-expression or something much more calculated. But now, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on all of this? And have you seen any of Kanye's latest tweets? Because, wow, there's a lot to unpack. Let me know what you think in the comments. Love you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next video.